Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the program. Of course, you know my next guest from Star Trek and the Independence Day movies, but to me, I think my favorite role is that of Gil Godwin in Out to Sea.
I'm so glad you said that.
Say hello to Brent Spiner.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Good to be here. That's my favorite role I ever did. Out to Sea, Gil Godwin. I wanted to do a series of Gil Godwin movies, but
you definitely warranted a spin-off or a sequel or something.
Or at least a series.
Right.
But nobody would listen to me. You're listening to me right now.
I'm listening to you. I'm looking right at you.
Yeah. That was Jack Lemmon and Walter Matthau and Donald O'Connor and Elaine Stritch.
I think it's a very underrated movie.
You know what?
Because I watched that. That was a movie that back in the day, that was a rental for me, right?
Yeah.
And once it became available, I purchased the movie.
Yeah.
And that was one of those movies where on the weekend I was just like, I want to watch that again.
Oh,
and I did. And then just, when you were doing, what was the big dance?
Well, I did Oye Como Va.
Right, okay.
But we also rediscovered Sway. That was the first, the song Sway?
No.
When marimba rhythms start to sway, dance with me.
A
lot of people have recorded it since we did it. It was an old Dean Martin song, and we found it, and we thought, wow, what a great discovery. And now it's become very popular, and I like to think
I do know it. Okay, yes.
Yeah.
That's not the one that Data did in Generations, right?
No. Did I do a number in Generations?
When you had the emotion chip, you were doing...
Oh, no, that was the Lifeform song.
Life forms, you tiny little life forms, you precious little life forms. Where are you?
We made that up on the spot. I now own that song.
Wow.
With ASCAP, yeah, and I've never been paid a dime for it. Which, they Paramount runs the movie over and over again, and I let them use that.
Yeah, they're quite known for that.
Funny, isn't it?
Yeah, and you know what? Not only are they not taking care of the actors, they're not taking care of the fan base either, because all the Paramount properties, for those who don't know, all the Star Trek TV shows, movies, everything all under Paramount, were for a while on Netflix.
Yeah.
And then Paramount decided, I don't know if it was a cash grab or something, to take their entire library off of Netflix and make their own pay service.
Mm-hmm.
So, Star Trek being one of the biggest sci-fi properties of all time, legions of fans around the world through generations. If you want to see any of that stuff, you could pay for the Paramount service, and then it wasn't just like paying the fee to Netflix for a month. There was that, but then it was very complicated the way the web service was working, and it didn't work well. And there's been a lot of petition to get the Star Trek properties back onto Netflix or something easier for people to use. I know.
I'll tell you what's going to happen is now they have CBS owns Star Trek, and so they're going to do a new series.
Yeah, but I heard it's a web series, though.
It's not a web series exactly. What they're going to do is the premiere is going to be on CBS for everyone to see.
Okay.
And then it's all of the next few episodes, all of the episodes will be on CBS Access, which is a new pay
online thing.
Yeah.
Right.
So you pay to see that, and but the good news is you get all kinds of other stuff like old Beverly Hillbillies reruns, and
because that's just what the kids want.
Exactly.
They want to binge watch Petticoat Junction while waiting for the next week's episode of the new Star Trek series.
Exactly.
So much. There's so much to get to. Obviously, you're here promoting the movie, the new Independence Day, which comes out June 24th. I don't want to harp on Star Trek too much because I know people talk to you about Star Trek all the time, and I'm sure everything's been possibly asked to you.
Yeah. I can answer you without you even asking me.
Okay, do it.
It took an hour and 15 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah.
That was my very first question.
Mm-hmm.
And the second question is this. With all the Star Trek, not the reboots, but I guess the first one was a reboot, but everything else has been reimagined as far as where they're going with the series here.
Mm-hmm.
Last year, I got to talk to Marina Sirtis about her thoughts on the new Star Trek line, and she said that, and she was pretty adamant about it, that J.J. Abrams hates the next generation. And she was quoting something about him on The Daily Show with Jon Stewart, and I said, I don't think that's true. And we went and looked, and he was saying he grew up as a original fan, not a Next Generation fan. And I think she might have taken it the wrong way there.
Clearly.
Do you think? It's got to come at some point for a a new look at the Next Generation.
Yeah.
Whole catalog of everything that you guys have done. I mean, you've outlived the original series with the TV show and the movies. They'll get to a point where they're going to have to reboot or maybe continue on.
Right.
Next Generation. There,
Yeah.
would you want to be? I'm sure you'd want to be a part of it, but are you looking at a reboot you think is better, or do you think continuing off where you guys are now and then moving on with introducing a younger cast with the older cast and having it build from there?
To be completely honest, I really don't care. They can do whatever they want with it. Listen, I love Star Trek. I feel so indebted to it for giving me just the best job I've ever had and introducing me to some people that I treasure having known, and wonderful fans who keep feeding us all the time and making us feel important and relevant and all of that. But it was just that. It was a really good job. And as far as I'm concerned, I think if they reboot it and do what they've done with the original series and recast our roles with younger people, I'm happy with that. I'd like to see Tilda Swinton play me, actually, or play Data. I'd like to see her play me too, but they're not making a movie about my life right now.
Well, the best part, at least with your character, Data, that can't really die. Can be deactivated.
Well, I kind of blew up in the last movie. I exploded, but I think that's
in the world
easily
of sci-fi,
fixed.
You were backed up somewhere else.
Yeah, I was backed up.
Your essence and everything is put into a new
I have all kinds of
android.
ideas how to bring me back if the money's right.
Because in the Star Trek reboot, they found a way to bring back Leonard Nimoy.
Yes.
In a not a weird crossover, but in a crossover that made sense throughout the generations.
Well, it didn't really, but yes, let's pretend it
All right,
did. Go ahead.
Nice. But your character could definitely come back, even if they did the original series or if they redid Next Generation, because your character doesn't age.
No, I'd like to
new technology, new hardware.
If I could come back, I'd like to come back as Patrick Stewart, actually. And I
Wouldn't
think
we all?
I could. Yes.
As Charles Xavier, though.
Yes, of course. No, it's Captain Picard. Yeah, but I think, by the way, going back to something you said earlier, I think Marina probably misread JJ's intent. I doubt seriously whether JJ hates the Next Generation.
Right.
I think he's a fan. He's a Star Trek fan.
I think
he's
he's
a Star Wars fan.
I don't think he's interested in doing stuff with the Next Generation, but it doesn't mean Paramount wouldn't be interested in doing stuff with the Next Generation.
That's true, and I'm not even sure he wouldn't be. I mean, let's call him.
That is true.
Let's give him a call.
I would, but he doesn't return my calls anymore. I think
right.
I'm blocked.
All right. Well, I know I will be blocking you right after this, but
Please do.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the current project that you have going on here for the second Independence Day.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, more trailers have come out since the initial teaser for it.
Uh-huh.
And I don't even think they needed to put the extended trailers out. The initial teaser was just the ocean and the ships coming, and it's like, it's happening again. I'm like, that's all you needed. And nowadays with trailers, they put too much into the trailer where if you go to see the movie, you start to realize after the movie's done, it's like, oh my God, the ending was in the trailer, and why did they do Terminator Genesis was the last installment of the Terminator series. There's a huge surprise scene in there where he's fighting his younger self, but they put it in the trailer because they didn't think anybody would come to see the movie.
Oh, I see.
And they've been doing it now. That's been the trend with a lot of movies.
Right.
I'm hoping this extended trailer that they have, which is visually amazing, isn't going to do that.
I don't think it is. I've seen the extended trailer. I love it. I think it's fantastic. Makes me want to see the movie. But it's a huge movie.
It is.
So the extended trailer is what, a minute and a half at best. The movie's over 2 hours, right? And every minute of the movie is as exciting as that trailer. It's a huge, enormous film. They haven't given away too much at all. You almost know nothing at this point.
That's great. I'm glad to hear that, because you see a lot, and you're like, I hope this isn't. They're just showing everything.
There's a
in the
scene
movie.
that they didn't use yet of me fighting my twin. Oh no. Well, hopefully nobody's listening to this.
Well, that would explain why your character is alive. I know that's been a big buzz on the internet about. Everyone thought you were dead in the first movie.
They hoped I was dead. I think
the last 2 times we saw you was one when the alien was kind of strangling you, but using you to communicate.
Yes.
And then there was a scene where Adam Baldwin's character was
puts his fingers on my neck.
Checking for your pulse and everything, but you didn't really know.
You didn't know because Adam Baldwin wasn't a doctor, either in the movie or in real life. How would he know? He was a military guy, and he didn't even put his fingers in the right place.
It's up your nose.
Yeah, exactly. No, I have this idea. I think there was a scene that was cut right after that where Robert Loggia, who was the general, said to him, "Why did you put your fingers on his neck?" And he said, "Well, I saw it in a movie once." And but no, clearly, if they had continued with my character in that movie, you would have seen me on a gurney being taken to a hospital or something.
Of all the things that people could speculate with this second movie, it was so weird to figure out why your character was still alive and there was no explanation for it. I'm like, just be happy he's there.
Really, does it matter?
No, it doesn't matter.
I mean, who cares?
He's going to reveal something, insanely amazing that maybe Jeff Goldblum had a little inkling of, and then you elaborate on, and then you put the two together, and maybe there's a solution in there on how to stop the aliens.
Well, exactly, and that's why I'm there, to stop the aliens. I'm here to stop you, actually.
You didn't have a lot of screen time in the first one. Is it? Greatly in the second one?
I think I have more in this.
You're a lot more active than just being at Area 51?
I actually have a story. I am, there's so many characters in this movie, and usually there's a B, and C story.
Right.
I am the Q story in this one, but I actually have a story. And so I'm sure I have more screen time. I ran into Roland Emmerich, who directed the movie recently, and he said, everything you shot is in the movie. So if that's the case,
that's great.
I've got more.
With the movie also came some merchandising. One of the brands that I'm particularly fond of is a company called Funko, and they put out these little pop figures. Like this one here is your Data figure.
How brilliant is this company?
They're great.
They must be making billions.
They are,
of dollars.
Everybody's just throwing their license at them, saying make our properties into your toys.
There are hundreds of them. For everything, every possible show.
And they put out the line for the new Independence Day movie, but you're not a part of that.
Well, they did the new one. They did
the new one. It's Jeff Goldblum older.
Oh, really?
It's I think it's Will Smith's son. And then different versions of the aliens.
Oh, okay. Well,
so. Oh, and Jeff Goldblum's father, Judd Hirsch.
They did a Judd Hirsch.
There's a Judd Hirsch one there too, but yours isn't in here, and we need to talk about why they didn't make your figure.
I'm very hurt. I didn't know that. All they had to do was take the Data one and take the LOIs off of it and put long hair on
and
it.
Put a white coat.
Exactly.
And there you go. It's done. The work is done for you. Just make simple changes.
Exactly.
So we need to petition to get some Doctor figures.
Yeah,
there.
Dr. Okun pop figures. I can't believe they didn't do that.
Star Trek is known for having millions of pieces of merchandise. They're just as bad as Kiss. Everything possible has a Star Trek label on it.
Right.
Were you surprised to see that? If you didn't know you had your pop figure, but there's so much.
Yeah, there's a ton.
ID4 merchandise this time around, because last time it was the big kickoff for the summer. It was I think Memorial Day when the original one came out in '96. And everyone's like, wow, I didn't expect this kind of movie, and they don't make movies like this anymore.
Right.
And that really set off the tone that a blockbuster needs to kick off the summer after that first one there. But there wasn't a lot of merchandise with it. Now with the second one, everything's coming out way ahead of time here.
I haven't seen any of it. The only thing I know that they're doing with my character is I think they're doing Dr. Okun as one of the Kiss guys, and
again,
a white coat,
erasing some of the black.
Exactly.
And there you go, putting a white coat on it.
But no, I mean, merchandising has just taken off. I mean, as you know, Star Trek was.
Do you get a nice piece of that?
Not really.
Nothing for your likeness?
We get something.
Okay.
I'm sure it's as little as possible, but yeah, we got something. I think we made the worst licensing deal of all time.
That's what it seems. It's almost as bad as the Brady Bunch syndication deal.
Yeah. The Olsens did way better than we did, but we sort of set. We were way back when we first came on the air in '87. I think it was '87.
Yeah.
We were the only sci-fi on the air. We were the only thing like that on the air. And,
at a rough time too, because a lot of people were very jaded with sci-fi because of Dune and V and Battlestar Galactica.
Right.
Good stories, but they didn't have the technology down to make it look good as far as television went.
Yeah.
And then you guys came around, and the great thing too is because somebody had the foresight to shoot the whole show on film.
Yes.
That they went back for the Blu-ray set.
Right.
And
really made it
cleaned it up a little bit. They've
beautiful.
increased. made the sound better,
Yeah.
touched up the special effects from the ships and the lasers and things like that, while keeping the context of the stories and your characters intact without ruining that by adding all the extra stuff. Kind of like when they made the special editions of Star Wars. People got upset because there was too much going on and kind of cheapened the film.
Right.
All the touch-ups and everything they did for the Blu-ray set was amazing because you had it on film and there wasn't much to really mess with.
Yeah, no, it really came out looking beautiful. I was very impressed with the last set of Blu-rays they came out with.
I'm running out of time here with you. What would, without being kind of spoilerish, what would people be surprised to see in the new Independence Day film?
Gosh, what will they be surprised to see? I don't think. I think they're just going to be so overwhelmed by the size of it because it is a gigantic movie.
Ocean scene.
Yeah, and Roland Emmerich is a master at this genre, and I think he just gave it everything he had, and that's going to be really cool. Can I mention one other thing?
Sure.
Real quick? Yeah, I'm also doing a series right now on Cinemax called Outcast.
Yes,
it's Robert
Kirkman's.
Yep, exactly, and. I think we're 2 episodes in right now, and it's a really scary show, and I encourage you to take a look at it.
That's a great person to be working for.
No kidding. He's a
Are you
great
Walking
guy,
Dead
too.
fan?
You know what? I have not seen Walking Dead. I have to be honest.
Okay.
If you're listening to this, I love Walking Dead. I've seen every episode.
But your new project does look amazing.
Yeah, no, it really does, and it's really good and scary, wonderful cast, great directors, and I think you're going to dig it.
I love the fact that you've, in any shape or form, have always been working before and after Star Trek, because before you were doing bit parts in a lot of big sitcoms, because I found out that you were in Hill Street Blues and Mama's Family, but I went back and looked. You had a mini story arc on Night Court.
Yeah, I was Bob
you did
Wheeler.
about 6 episodes.
Yes, indeed.
And then since then you hit with Star Trek, and after that you were doing a lot of voiceovers for animations.
Yeah,
you crossed the line doing some Star Wars Rebel.
I did Star Wars Rebel. I played the Joker in Young Justice,
and you did Silver Surfer in one of the Avenger animations and everything.
I just did the Riddler in a new Justice League.
So, I mean, you just constantly work. Everyone who thinks like, oh, they're not doing it.
Yeah.
Brent's never stopped working before and after.
And
he continues to do so today.
Yeah. From your lips, it'll keep going.
With Outcast, with the new Independence Day, which comes out June 24th. You should definitely go and see it. We got to get you working on your other Funko Pop there.
Exactly.
So they can get that done.
My show here at Sirius.
Right. And then that's who you need to speak to. His name is Scott Greenstein.
Yeah, Scott.
Talk to him. He's the president of the company. He's the one who handles celebrity deals.
All right. I'll be right there, Scott.
All right. We'll do that. Brent, thank you so much. It's at Brent Spiner on Twitter. Send him some love, and therealbrentspiner.com.
Thank you so much.
There we go.
Great to be here with you.